Hello and welcome to the Hands Up If You're Human podcast and to the Inalienable Truth series of episodes. In these episodes, we will look at our incredible storytelling ability, how unhelpful most of those stories are most of the time, and what we are left with when we strip the stories away. My name is Wyndham. I am the Blueprint Coach. Welcome back to the podcast. And by some coincidence of the universe, are there ever any coincidences? By some alignment of the universe, you find me at this precise moment dealing with frustration. And the reason I link that to are there any coincidences is because inalienable truth number 7 is frustration is the result of an inability to accept what is. I'll let that land. Frustration is the result of an inability to accept what is. So, my own frustration this morning is this is, I don't know, take 7 of trying to record this podcast. And typically, I hit record, I talk for a bit, I hit stop. Over the last however many years, I've become comfortable talking to camera. I don't have an issue with that anymore. I know and understand this blueprint stuff inside out. So it is less about searching for a connection with the content. And yet, it's taken me 7 attempts to get to this. Now, that's fine. 7 attempts is fine. It doesn't matter because you're only going to get to hear this attempt. I get to edit out the bits that I don't want you to hear. So the ultimate end result is fine. But this idea of reality not meeting our expectations, and as a result of that frustration arising, well, that would be fine if it was just, I feel a bit frustrated. The problem with frustration is the stories we tell ourselves as a result of that emotion. So the story I'm telling myself is, why can't you get this right? You're a fucking idiot. What is going on? This is right in your wheelhouse. Why are you struggling with this today? Now that's a judgment piece kicking in. It's true. I don't know why I'm struggling with this today, but I am, right? So the idea that I should just ignore it, that it shouldn't be happening, is one, unhelpful, and two, I don't know why this has taken me 7 attempts. It has though, right? So it almost doesn't matter why in this moment, because I get the opportunity to do it again, and I have the opportunity to get it right in inverted commas. But let me give you the touch of nuance that goes with all of these inalienable truths. So I'll give you the inalienable truth again, and then the touch of nuance. Frustration is the result of an inability to accept what is. When reality fails to meet our expectations, we have 2 choices. 1, accept reality, reassess our inputs, take new action to move us to the outcome we want, or refuse to accept reality, focus on what failed to happen, and judge ourselves. The choice is yours. Now, I wrote this, I don't know, 12 months ago, round about then, maybe a little bit longer ago. And that the second option there is exactly what has just happened for me over the last 20 minutes. I've refused to accept reality, that it just is taking me longer today. I've focused on what failed to happen. So my intended outcome was that I would sit down, I'd quickly record this, and I'd move on to the other things I want to do today. That's not happening. And so the stories that are going on in my head, remember that these inalienable truth series of episodes is really about the stories we tell ourselves, the stories that most of the time are not helpful. So my focusing on what failed to happen and judging myself as a result has made it even less likely that I'm going to get this right. That's why it ended up being 7 attempts. So, without wanting to take up too much more of your day, where in your life are you judging yourself for the outcomes not being the end result that you're looking for? Because frustration, particularly, happens when we are in pursuit of an outcome in any area of our life. Doesn't matter what it could be. Let's pick the big ones, right? We want to lose weight. We want to get fit. We want to meet our perfect partner. All these things in life. We want to earn more money, whatever it might be. Rather, we think we want all those things, but there's a deeper meaning at play. Anyway, that's not what today is about. We have this expectation of what we want to achieve. And I talk about it quite a lot, this idea that very often we're living our lives attempting to play the checkmate move in chess first. We want to wait until all the variables are aligned, until it is the perfect time to achieve what we're looking to achieve in one move. It doesn't happen that way. We have to build to it. So for me, eventually, I want to be at a place where this kind of recording just happens. And I have evidence and experience of where it has. And yet sometimes it won't. Sometimes there's this idea of doing the reps, and we learn from not achieving. We don't learn anything from getting what we want. Our lessons are always in when we don't get what we want, and taking a moment to reflect and to think about, okay, well, are my expectations reasonable? Because almost always, no, they're not. They won't be reasonable. Because essentially what I'm saying to myself is every time I sit down to record anything, you just hit it, nail it perfectly first time. And we know perfect doesn't exist. Perfectionism is actually an act of protection, because it means you never put anything out because it's never good enough. So when we are looking to achieve anything that requires input from us, cut yourself some slack. Embrace the fact that you are human. This podcast is hands up if you're human. There is nothing you can think, say, do, experience that isn't 100% human. And when frustration kicks in, recognize that is what is happening. I am frustrated, and recognize how quickly that your awareness and your storytelling turns inward, and recognize how unhelpful it is. If you are beating yourself up, it's not moving you forward. So recognize, okay, what is my expectation here? What am I trying to create? How reasonable is it that I should have created it already? And what is it going to take to move me closer to it? What I've really realized over the last 12 months, particularly, but increasingly over the last 2 years, is I have an unhealthy expectation of where I should be on my own adventure. You know, you can't reach the end point without taking all the steps to get there. And as frustrating as that may be, if we don't accept the reality of what is, where we are, the effort we have put in, the lessons we still have to learn, the changes we can still make that make achieving what we want to achieve more likely, then we are going to be in the, well, I'm refusing to accept what is. I'm focusing on what failed to happen, and I'm judging myself harshly as a result. We don't move forward from that. So, frustration, like all of these emotions, is an opportunity to reflect, to actually find something that says, I think you're being a bit harsh on yourself here. Yes, I'm not suggesting the goal isn't a worthwhile goal. Yes, I'm not suggesting that we shouldn't look at ourselves and take ownership for our shortcomings, definitely, that's how we grow. But to judge ourselves for it, that keeps us trapped. So, that inalienable truth once more. Frustration is the result of an inability to accept what is. And the touch of nuance. When reality fails to meet our expectations, we have two choices. One, accept reality, reassess our inputs, take new action to move us to the outcome we want, or refuse to accept reality, focus on what failed to happen, and judge ourselves. The choice is yours. I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for listening. If you are enjoying these episodes, then please do like, subscribe, share this podcast with people you think may benefit from it. If you have any comments or thoughts about any of the inalienable truths or any of the main episodes, please let me know. I'm always interested to hear from listeners. If there's anything you would like me to talk about, anybody you think it would be interesting to talk to, then please let me know. Best way to get in touch is via email, which is handsupifyou'rehuman@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am the Blueprint Coach _Wyndham on Instagram. I would love to hear from you. It would be nice. Wow. What a soft ending to the episode. Anyway, I will leave you that. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you a joyful and peaceful few days, and I will speak to you soon.